to not be afraid of change and know that you may have to pivot at any point in your journey. Right. That's going to be very pivotal for you to be open to that change and know that you might have to be a little bit of a chameleon.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Tiff.
And this is BOSSiS, where ambition meets sisterhood.
And you hear real stories from boss women in leadership and business.
The highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Every boss has a story, so let's get into it. Today, we get to talk to a media maven, an event curator, and she doesn't like the word, but I'm going to say it anyway, influencer. And she is your scoop to everything Philly, Lauren Rei. Welcome, Lauren.
Hi, y'all. That was such a warm welcome.
Yes, we like to give our guests a warm welcome.
Now I feel important.
Yes, thank you for coming.
No problem.
So, as you heard, she is everything. She knows, she has a lot of resources and a lot of connections, and we brought her here today just to tell us a little bit about her journey.
Yes, thank you guys for having me on.
It's a pleasure.
BOSSiS, I love this so much.
You.
Yes.
Thank you.
Where do we start?
I don't know.
With
tell
you.
me. What do you want us to know?
You know what? When coming in, I definitely thought about how I wanted to talk about my journey and stuff. And one of the biggest words that kept coming up for me was pivot. Right?
Wow.
I've had to pivot a lot in my journey. So what a lot of people don't know is that I still work in corporate America.
Wow.
But my grounding is there.
Yes.
And I had to be able to pivot to get to where I am right now. So we can start there if we want to,
yes.
really. Honestly, so I went to school, actually, Howard University, HU, you know.
Okay. We got a Howard. I love it.
I went for communications.
Okay.
So you could not tell me that I was not going to be a radio personality. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but like at the time, Wendy Williams was like the media, air radio personality to be and to mimic. So I was like, I'm going to school for radio. I'm going to be on the radio just like Wendy.
That's not crazy.
I don't know. Not crazy.
Wendy was like everything.
But Wendy was messy, so everybody say.
I got you.
But I just knew that was something that I wanted to do. And, you know, life sometimes, right? Had to pivot in college, had to come back to Philly, do school in Philly, didn't completely finish at Howard, but that's where I was, and had to, like, figure it out. So once I was home, going to school, got a job, and I got kind of thrown into the corporate world by accident. I started in banking, and then from banking, I went into working for a huge telecommunications company.
Wow,
Let's put it that way. And it was just stuffy, you know what I mean? And I was just like, this is not really where my heart really is.
Right.
How do I shake this? And I literally was sitting at my cubicle one day, scrolling Instagram, and I saw a post for, do you want to do a talk show, a podcast? And I was like, what's a podcast?
Wow.
I feel like I'm aging myself right now, but like, what's a podcast? And I was like, I don't know, but this sounds like a good opportunity. Let me just hit this random person back and let's see what it's about. And he responded back immediately. He was like, yes, do you want to come in for an interview? I was like, cool. I had no clue what I was doing.
Wow.
But I sat at work and put together a presentation about a show. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to like tag it? What am I going to do? And I went there. We had this like great interview. I told him like I wanted to do segments about pop culture, talk a little messiness, talk about some, you know, stuff like that. But I also wanted to talk about the things that were like going on in the city and the people doing things in the city.
I love that.
And he was all about it. And literally, y'all, we were in somebody's basement doing this podcast. It was just mic set up and someone recording, press and play, and it probably was the worst sound quality that you ever have. And we did it. I did my first episode, and it kind of feels like the rest is history, but there's so many other important players, the people that I've met with Water Ice.
Wow.
Long story short, I met my co-host for my podcast for about 10 years, Jay.
Wow.
Jay the Gentleman, and we instantly clicked on air together. People was like, y'all have to continue to do this together. I mean, we did the podcast for a really long time.
Wow.
And anybody who stepped foot in Philly or has come up in Philly, some names that I know, like a lot of y'all know, have been on our podcast, right?
Wow.
Yep, over 200 episodes of the podcast. It still lives on certain platforms right now. But we were like, okay, we got something going here.
That's amazing.
And then the owner of Water Ice, he came in and said, hey, let's combine this together. I have this platform where I'm growing, where I'm telling people where to go, what to do in the city. You have this podcast, you're interviewing all these entrepreneurs from Philly. Let's put this together. And it kind of exploded.
Wow.
And Water Ice is 11 years in. I am now 9-10 years in the business of being in media, and it's just been a blessing. But through that, there has been a lot of pivots.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But that was my first major pivot. Like,
Right.
I knew I was going to do, had one thing in my mind I was going to do when I was in college. I ended up being in corporate America and then sitting behind a cubicle in a suit like, this is not for me.
Right.
How do I make this work for me?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And thank you for sharing. I do have a question for you.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So you talked about pivoting.
Yeah.
One thing that came to my mind when I was listening to you, when people pivot, they often consider pivoting failure. How did you get through that? How did you have the tenacity to just go ahead and do it? Because some people have to pivot because of different situations, and they literally like kick themselves because this isn't working. I got to do this. I got to do how did you get through that?
So I am one of those scary people that had a problem with wanting to jump because of what if it fails? What if no one listens to the podcast? What if nobody tunes in?
Right.
No one cares to hear what I have to talk about
Right.
or the guests on the show. And there would be nights where we would only have 5 listeners. Some
Right.
nights we would have 200 listeners because we were also doing it live 2 nights a week for 2 hours.
Wow. That's a girl. Being a podcaster.
It was
that's a feat.
right, 'cause in the beginning it was live. People were doing their podcast live, and you could
Right.
actually go onto like a station, like a Spotify, and listen to it live.
Right.
And then we got a bug about pre-recording and then putting it
putting it
on a
up, yeah.
platform. Right. It was like it was levels to it at a certain point.
Yes.
So we had ups and downs, and it was like, but if you want to stay the course, you got to keep doing it.
For sure.
And like the one thing that I learned was like, there is no success without failure.
Right.
Wow.
You're going to fail in the journey to getting successful. You can ask anybody. You can ask Oprah. You can ask, Kamala. You can ask all of the big women names that we know. They have failed at some point in their life, period, right?
Exactly.
So you got to get comfortable in that failure. So the failure for me pivoting again to saying, okay, this didn't work, Lauren. So how do we change it? What do we do next? So I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
But I would tell anyone, especially any woman who is like going through their journey, is that being comfortable in the failure is a part of the process.
Wow.
It's a part of the journey for sure.
And I noticed that you didn't give up, right? So even when you were in that space of feeling like I don't belong here,
Right.
that dream that you had at Howard University, you still made it happen. It just looked a little different.
It looked a little different. So I pride myself in saying that I come from a very strong lineage of women.
Yes.
Where everyone's very successful in their own right. And there were at times where I felt like, even then, like, I don't fit in here. Like, everyone has gone through what people would think is the normal motions. You go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you get a degree, you move on to whatever that profession may look like, right? And it didn't work out for me that way. And there were times where I did want to give up, actually, right? But I was always told, like, you got to get back up.
Yes.
You got to get back up, and you got to figure out another way. My oldest brother always tells me, out of all of us, you have the hustle. Like, you going to get it one way or another, right? And it always stuck with me that you can sit in it for a minute. And I just told one of my girlfriends this the other day, like, you give yourself 24 hours.
That's right.
Sit in it, slide down the wall, cry, ugly cry, all the good stuff, right? But then you gotta get back up.
That's right.
You gotta get back up. You gotta keep it moving. So that's how I dealt with it, really, about like keep moving, keep trying, because it's going to be the only way that you're going to get through it. Or you're going to let the I can't do it consume you, and then you're always going to be sitting with the what if.
I love that.
And then you're going to see someone else that had the podcast, the
Right.
BOSSiS.
Yes.
Someone else was going to come up with the BOSSiS podcast.
Yeah.
You're like, I was supposed to do that, right?
Right. Yep. Right.
And then what?
Right,
You're
right.
going to have to sit with that for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the transparency.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. It's
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
sharing our stories, sharing our journeys. But one thing I want to ask you is, who is your strength? Where does your strength come from? Who gave that to you?
So great question. You said one of my favorite words, transparency.
Yes.
Transparency is my therapy, right?
I love that.
I am transparent to a T. Sometimes too much, a little bit,
Right.
but it just kind of helps me make up for who I am. And when you talk about strength, my foundation is rooted in my spirituality. I am a believer first. I believe in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I grew up in the church. I am unapologetic about that.
Wow.
And there was a time where I felt like I had to hide that because people want to run away from that. Like when they start hearing religion, they get scared. They're like, oh, she churchy and all that stuff like that. I am far from perfect, right?
Right.
Somebody will probably pull up a video of me standing on somebody's couch in a club, right? Like, oh, she was talking all that, but no, I don't strive for perfection.
Right.
It's progression, right?
Yes. I like
So
that.
my foundation is from my family. I grew up in the church, always believed in God and faith and stuff. And really, again, the women in my life are really strong women. Don't get me wrong. We have some very strong men in our family, great men in our family, great examples. But the women, my grandmother was just a light, but she was a force to be reckoned with for sure. She didn't, she was a grandma. She was a stay-at-home mother. She did not work, but she ran our family.
Wow.
And
She was a boss.
she was a boss.
She was a boss. I love
She was
it.
a boss with a husband that loved the ground that she walked on. But she knew her place, and he knew what her place was, and she was the foundation of that family. And from that came my mom, who is my biggest cheerleader, my number one fan. It's even like my little cousins around me. Like I have a little cousin who just became a personal trainer.
Wow.
She's strong in her own right, doing her own business. I have another little cousin that's in film, and she is out living in New York doing her thing. And it's like
love it.
we get little pieces of all of each other. And it's something about if your family has a strong woman foundation,
Yes.
you can do anything.
A family full of bosses. That's what it sounds like to me.
I mean, yes.
That's an interesting link. I've never even really honestly thought about that.
Yeah, if you think about some of let's just say it, like women are the foundation. We are the key.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I know
Right.
people, like to not want to admit it, but I'm gonna be keeping it real. Black women are
Yes.
the key in the
Yes, for
foundation,
sure.
right?
For sure.
It doesn't go if we're not involved in
For sure.
it in any way. So I pride myself in all the time. So I say all the time, like the women in my family have been the foundation. So God first, family next.
Wow.
And then I have an amazing group of friends. I always say the people who you have around you is super important.
Yeah.
Circle.
Like
Yeah.
your circle means everything. And the core women that I have in my circle have done wonders from my life in all separate different ways. So all those things. So God first, family, core friends, and then everything else falls into place.
Wow. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing that. Are you a mom?
I am not a mom.
You're not a mom.
Yes, I have the desire to be a mom.
Okay.
I'm not afraid to share. I am 41 years old.
Okay.
And so I had not had the opportunity to be a mom yet. I do believe that God has that for me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Even though it may come later on in life, and it may come in a different way than the normal way, right? But not yet. But I am a proud auntie.
I love it.
I am a very proud auntie and a serious auntie. Don't mess with my baby.
I know that's right.
And I everything is for them. I'm an example for them, and hopefully, and my godchildren too.
I love it.
And so yeah, I think God has that for me at some point.
I asked that question because you seem like you would be a great mentor for
thank
a
you.
young person.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, like if there was some advice that you can give your niece
Yeah.
or somebody that's like a niece to you, what would you tell them?
I would definitely tell them it's cliche, but never give up. You can be whatever you want to, like literally, but you gotta have a little bit of audacity and craziness in you to be able to do it. So another thing I would say absolutely is to not be afraid of change and know that you may have to pivot at any point in your journey.
Right.
That's going to be very pivotal for you to be open to that change and know that you might have to be a little bit of a chameleon in whatever business you decide to be in
sure.
To be successful.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also have a question as
Okay.
well. Since you have so much experience in the podcast world, we're new to the podcast world, if you didn't know. And this platform, we're trying to grow. And I just wanted to know, what advice do you have for us? Because we've only been doing this for a year.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, so first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
A year is a big milestone,
Yes,
right?
thank you.
Advice. So yes, I would say don't stop.
Okay.
If I could be completely transparent, when I was podcasting, there was at a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because everybody has a podcast. I felt like the industry was saturated.
Right.
I felt like nobody wanted to hear what we had to say anymore. And I fell off. We fell off, right? And it may be one of the things that I regret, right? Because podcast has evolved so much, right? And there's always something to talk about. So I would say, even if there is someone who tries to be BOSSiS podcast or something very similar to it, don't take that personally. Take that as a compliment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And keep moving. Keep thinking of different ways to elevate and to make BOSSiS go to other levels, like live podcast in front of an audience.
Wow.
Right.
Or going to another city and doing you know, BOSSiS. Like, whatever you want to do, always continue to elevate and never stop creating.
Never
stop
awesome.
creating. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Great advice. Great advice.
Thank you.
I want to backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
You talked a little bit about corporate America and you working for corporate America, right? How do you turn that on and turn it off? I want to know.
I mean, code switching. I'm gonna be honest. No, I separate the two very well. I don't even when people ask me what I do, I actually say the media stuff first because that is my passion and that's where my heart is.
Got it.
And then if it comes up, I will tell them like, yeah, this is the thing that I do for other reasons, right?
Yeah.
And I leave my podcast stuff at home. Not podcast, I'm sorry. I leave my media stuff at home and I leave my work stuff at work.
Right.
I completely separate the two. Because Water Ice has gotten so big and everyone is on social media, there are people at work who know that I work for the company and it's not a conflict of interest or anything like that, so it's okay. But I absolutely try to separate those two lives.
Got it.
But I still have coworkers that be like, Lauren, I heard this new restaurant opened up. Tell me about it. Like, have you been to this place yet or whatever? And I'm cool with that.
Wow.
But I absolutely, not that I'm hiding anything, but I absolutely try to keep it separate.
You lead with your passion.
I lead with my passion.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. My last question before you go, because I'm really excited. And you
Well, I gotta go already?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. We can talk forever if you like. But another question that I do have is, we talk a lot about how every step that you take leads to growth.
Yeah.
Right? So while I want to go back to this corporate America thing, because I feel like there's a lot to learn, a lot of lessons that can be learned from corporate America that you use in your personal passion. Talk about that.
Well, it helps. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I'm in like business meetings and stuff, when it comes to media stuff, I sit and talk with a lot of like event coordinators and event spaces and restaurants and different things. There's a lot of business that's still it's still a business.
Right.
Like when y'all see us do like reels and doing fun, and we're at places, people are like, oh, your job is so fun.
Right.
Like, no, this is still a business.
Right.
I take a lot of that corporate stuff into those places. So when I'm sitting down doing a deal, I'm fine toothing the contract and like, oh, this doesn't seem right. We need to add this, take this out. And sometimes that corporate those corporate terminologies and that kind of behaviors that you have in the corporate world help translate in those spaces. And then sometimes, believe it or not, the media stuff will translate into the corporate world as well. There's some times where I have to be more relaxed and stuff like that. And when I'm networking and meeting with people, and then that's when my media stuff like comes into play. So it's a juggling act, but I absolutely can be able to use the things that I've learned from being in corporate for 13 plus years into the media space. And sometimes it's funny because we'll be in meetings and they be like, here go Lauren in her corporate hat, like our monthly meetings. And I'm like, no, we got to think about these things.
Right.
And I start using like HR terms and stuff like that. But you have to be able to translate those things as well, because I think sometimes we get loose with like just having a good time.
Right.
We forget about the business. Like
Structure.
Yeah, and people will take advantage of that
Yes.
if you absolutely let them. So I will say you have to let the both two combine at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah. Since you're a media maven, what's one thing that you want women in this industry to know?
Great question. There is room for everyone in this space. We have to get out of the mindset that there can only be one, and we can't be crabs in a barrel.
Yes.
I'm not talking about men. I'm talking about black women.
For sure.
I'm being very specific.
You are not my competition.
Black women. We
Right.
are not each other's competition.
For sure.
We are here to uplift each other.
Yes.
We are here to support each other.
Yep.
When we walk in the room, we need to greet each other. We need to smile. We need to hug. We need to handshake, whatever the gesture may be.
Yes.
We are not here to tear each other down.
Right.
We can be all in the same space. There is enough for all of us.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I think social media, and although social media is a part of my job, has us thinking that it can only be one black influencer,
right.
one black food influencer, one lifestyle, one fashion.
right.
That's not true. There can be multiple of us, and we can support each other without thinking that we are each other's competition.
Yes.
And also, black women, we deserve to be in any space.
Yes. Talk about it.
We deserve to be at the events at the Four Seasons,
Yeah.
or at the Ritz-Carlton, or at all of the at the Met, at the film, all of these big places where we see others there,
Yeah.
and we're not invited into those spaces. We deserve to be in those spaces too. So keep inquiring about, I'm here, I want to be a part of. We belong in those spaces as well.
Right.
Wow. You really blew me away today. I'm so happy we got to meet Lauren Rei,
Yes.
the media maven.
I'm so happy to be here. I have to tell you, like, I haven't been in this space in a while.
Right.
This is giving me the feels.
That's
right.
I love it. Listen, and if you decide to come back home, make sure you have us on your show.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Yes.
I do have one more question.
Sure.
What makes you a BOSSiS?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot.
Yes. We want to know. The people want to know. Why are you a BOSSiS?
I am going to go back to something that you said earlier, that you love my transparency. I believe that my transparency makes me a BOSSiS.
Indeed.
I think being able to share your story, your journey, what you're really going through is key to all of this. And if you can't be open about your journey, the failures, the success, the ups, the downs, the times you cry, the times you win, then what are you doing this for?
Yeah.
And I believe it was Jay-Z who said, if you're the only boss in the room and you're the only person that's successful in the room, then you're not really a boss.
Right. Right.
Come on.
So I pride myself in the fact that the people that are surrounded by me are also successful
Right.
and also bosses too. So they make me a boss.
Thank
Right.
you. That was an awesome response.
Go, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren, so much for coming.
Of course.
We hope that one day you'll join us back here.
I'm coming back. Y'all know, y'all got my contact. I'm coming back.
And we need you to comment and tell us your biggest takeaway from this episode.
And don't forget to stay boss, sis.
Thank you.
Yes. I love it. That's fun.